Sheree, up till now, at least, the MacBook Air, the 13-inch, has been our gold standard for ultra portables, but you have something in front of you that's pretty intriguing and a lot different than what I have.
Definitely. So this is actually the Asus Zenbook UX301. So for starters, it just looks better. We also have Intel Core i7 processor with Iris graphics, which means some serious performance. And on the inside, we have a QHD display, which is super high res.
Wow. So it sounds a lot better on paper, but let's really dig into this battle and see how good this Ultrabook is.
Let's.
All right, Sheree, so the Zenbook UX301, the first thing that stands out for me is that in the past I've sort of given Asus a hard time because they look like they had a little bit of MacBook Air envy. But this time around, the design is pretty distinct. Tell us what we're looking at here.
So what we're looking at here is a Gorilla Glass 3 display lid. So basically this whole lid is glass and it's Gorilla Glass, so it's pretty durable, it's scratch resistant, and as you can see, it's this lovely midnight blue color, and it still has makings of a Zenbook. It still has that concentric circle design that we're used to seeing on the regular Zenbook. And it, like here, it's just a lot pretty. It's a lot prettier presentation.
So what about ports? What do we have on the left and right?
So for ports, it's a little short on the ports. So we've got an SD card reader, USB 3, and mini display port over here. And on the other side, we have another USB 3 port, mini HDMI headset, and of course your power jack.
Okay, so on the inside, one of the things I like about the deck is that it looks like it has a little bit of a soft touch or almost like a rubberized finish. How does this feel when you're typing, and how good is the keyboard?
The keyboard, I'm really happy to report, is a lot better than what we're used to seeing or feeling on Asus notebooks. This is actually one of the best Asus keyboards that I've had the pleasure of using.
So what about the display itself? Because I know we're talking about a pretty high resolution, right? How high is it?
So we have a 2560 by 1440 pixel display.
Wow.
So it's basically a retina-like display, which is cool, but at the same time, since there are no Windows 8 retina display apps, it's kind of wanting like for things. So the best things that you can do with it are watch video or look at beautiful pictures such as this.
Right. So I guess for photo editors, it might be good.
Absolutely.
So we're looking at a Retina display type photo right now, so you get a lot of detail. Like, what about when we zoom in? It's still pretty good.
Still pretty good. And like, of course, it's going to depend on the image. So if you zoom in here, you can see the veins of the leaves and everything. When we put it against the MacBook Pro, we still preferred the Pro's 2560 by 1600 display. It just gave better color.
And I know that the viewing angles?
The viewing angles are lacking. Anywhere, if you move this anywhere beyond 45 degrees, it's going to start washing out immediately, which is very disappointing.
Well, what about performance? Because I think one of the reasons why you're spending over $1,900 for this particular configuration, it starts at $1,799, is that you're getting what? Core i7, 8 gigs of RAM. What else are you getting?
You're getting two 128 gig SSDs, so you've got blazing fast boot times and transfer times. You're also, of course, getting the display, and you're getting Intel Iris graphics. So you'll be able to play games like World of Warcraft, not necessarily at full resolution, but on 1366, it'll give you some pretty nice frame rates.
Okay, why don't we check out the sound, because I was actually pleasantly surprised by at least the volume that these two speakers have on the other sides, like either side of it.
Which is surprising because they're such small speakers, and they're in such a usually problematic area. So I'm just going to queue up the X-Men Days of Future Past trailer.
And there's different like audio settings that you can use,
Absolutely. Asus actually put in their Audio Wizard technology, which is basically, here we are right here.
Oh, nice.
So we can switch between music mode, which augments the sound, movie mode, recording, and speech.
Great.
Like in our testing, we actually found that movie mode is the best sound overall.
Okay, so if we pause that for a second, I think the other important consideration for any Ultrabook is battery life. How long did this last on our test?
On our test, we actually got 7 hours and 53 minutes, which is above average for an ultra portable, but compared to, say, the MacBook Pro, which got 9 hours and 23 minutes, or the Samsung AdbookBook 9 Plus, which got 8 hours and 3 minutes, it's a little lacking.
Right. Well, what's your verdict? There's a lot of Ultrabooks out there, but you spent a fair amount of time with the system. Is it worth the money, and what's the rating that you're going to give it?
So at $1973, it's very pricey.
Right.
But I am standing behind my 4-star rating. The display, despite the shallow viewing angles, which actually kept it from being an editor's choice, the display is actually very vibrant. And photo editors, video editors, they'll love it. The keyboard is awesome. The performance, it's right up there, surpassing the MacBook Pro that has a Core i5 configuration. And the battery life, this is a solid notebook if you have the money, and it's gorgeous to look at. It's a show-stopping piece. It's something that stands out in the crowd. And if you're going on business trips, who doesn't want to pull something like this out of their bag?
Maybe I'll take that instead of the Air next time around.
Maybe.
Well, to check out the full review of this ZenBook and more Ultrabooks, go to laptopmag.com.